Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Thursday night edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. My privilege to be your host for this evening's presentation. Tonight, we're going to take a couple of minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about the #1 home-based business opportunity for 2018 and the next several years at least. We're going to share with you some of the concepts that, create true long-term residual income in our profession. I'm going to have an opportunity to have you hear from really one of the legends in our profession, a gentleman that's been doing this for several decades, who chose Zija International to be his final opportunity, and how you can create a significant residual income and do so without it having to consume your life, to be able to do it around your life. And so first and foremost, I want to welcome all of you to tonight's presentation. Certainly we have a number of our field leaders on, a number of our newer distributors, but in particular, I want to extend a warm welcome to those of you that have been invited as a guest. Perhaps, a friend, maybe a family member, maybe a coworker has been sharing with you some of the Zija products. Maybe you're one of our customers. Maybe you've heard about the potential of creating an additional income stream without having to get another job, without it having to interfere with your life. Maybe you're looking for a way to create additional income to pay for the kids' college education, or get the down payment for the first home. Maybe a way to have one of the parents, mom, stay home and raise the kids. Maybe you're looking for a way to create some additional income in retirement. There are many, many reasons why people look for alternate ways to create an income. And in today's world, probably more so than, in the 30 years that I've been around this profession, people are more interested today, more open to hearing about ways to create additional income, to control their own financial future, not be dependent upon the job, the employer, the government, what have you. And what we're going to do this evening is we're going to talk about the 3 critical ingredients that you would want to look for in a company to align yourself with, to create that home-based business that generates ongoing residual income. First and foremost, look at the people that own the company. Look at the leaders of the company. I had the good fortune many years ago, back, I think it's like probably 32, 33 years ago now. I left my previous career as a cross-country truck driver to get involved in this business arena because I was looking for a way to create a substantially above average income to provide for the educational needs of my son as he was entering school age, but I also needed more time freedom to be with him. And reality was, nobody was offering a truck driver, a 6-figure plus income with a flexible schedule. Those jobs just weren't out there. And I was very fortunate that I was able to learn this type of business from a young man that was already a $1 million earner. And I learned that there's a simple system that if you apply the system, if you have good work ethics, if you are coachable, willing to learn the system, and you have a desire to succeed, that all these promises that the industry provides are available to you. And literally within 10 years, I retired. At an age when most fellows are looking for, retirement in another 20 or 25 years, I was already done working. And fast forward, I'd had the opportunity to live the life people dream about. I worked if I wanted to, not if I didn't. Had a lot of free time, got to take 6 years off, raise my first grandson. And then several years ago, it was time to come home and take care of my elderly mother. And that's when I was introduced to Zija International. Now, the 3 things that I looked at are the 3 things that I'd evaluated many companies over a period of several years. #1 was the experience, track record, and integrity of the ownership. Zija International is owned by a gentleman by the name of Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize Ken's name, but you already know who he is. Ken is known as the Father of Encapsulation. Ken is the first person to put medicinal herbs into gel caps, making it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of those medicinal herbs. With that concept, Ken launched his very first company in the early 70s. Today, Nature's Sunshine continues in business over 40 years, billions of dollars in sales over that period of time. Ken went on in the 80s to start his second company in the mid-80s. Enrich International now continues under the name of Unicity. That company has been in business over 30 years. Again, billions in cumulative sales over those 30 years. Ken is the only person in the history of the network marketing or direct sales industry who has created two of what ends up being about 24 long-term legacy companies. Ken came out of retirement several years ago to launch his third company, Zija International. Let's see if we can do this. Zija International, because of our product. Our product is based on the Moringa oleifera tree. So the first thing I looked at was the leadership of the company, specifically track record, experience, and integrity. Now, the second thing I looked at was products. And here's what a lot of people don't recognize. There are certain products that lend themselves well to our type of business. I look for products that, first of all, were highly consumable. Ideally, something that people consume on a daily basis, reorder on a monthly basis. This is what creates that ongoing monthly residual income. I look for products that met recognized needs, products that you didn't have to convince people they needed. Well, in today's marketplace, everybody's looking for green, healthy, natural, organic, and alternatives to them, the ways we deal with health issues, medications, doctors, and what have you. Everybody's looking for this. We're looking for greener, cleaner products for our home. When we first started with Zija International, we had one product, our Moringa drink, based on the Moringa oleifera tree. You should check that out. Check Moringa. It is the National Institutes of Health Botanical of the Year in 2008. The U.S. government's NIH said in 2008 it was the most nutrient-dense botanical they had ever studied. It is literally everything the body needs to sustain optimal health. And we are the world's #1 grower, producer of Moringa products, and our Moringa products, without question, are the most potent, nutrient-dense ones in the marketplace today. Why? Because we control every aspect of our product delivery. We own the plantations that grow our Moringa plants. So they're grown to our specifications, all organic, utilizing United Kingdom soil standards for all natural organic. Why United Kingdom? They're the most stringent for purity. We control from the ground up. We bring the product, the raw materials to our warehouses in Linden, Utah. We have our own pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility that produces our products. Literally thousands and thousands of square feet of manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, office spaces. We are a company that today could produce over $1 billion in sales of our products with our current existing infrastructure, yet we're only a small percentage of that in terms of actual sales. So I look for products that were highly consumable, met recognized needs, and most importantly, they had to really work. This is the most exciting part about what we're doing. Our customer retention rate is over 85%. Nobody in the marketplace can claim that. It's because of the power of our products. Now, the final thing I looked at was timing. And a lot of people don't understand timing in our profession. I've heard it so many times, oh man, you got to get in at the beginning, be in at the top, be in pre-launch, whatever. The fact of the matter is, if you look at the numbers in almost 7 decades that this type of business model has been around, literally tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of companies have come and gone, and there's only a couple of dozen companies that have stood the test of time. So what the professionals understand, people that have been in this industry for decades, The worst time to join a company is in the beginning. What you ideally want to look for is a company that has a little bit of track record and tenure, has been able to develop infrastructure, has systems in place, is financially stable, has the financial resources to put back into the development of the company, back into the development of the distributor base. Ziji International, our company, has already exceeded into the top 1% of companies in network marketing because we've been in business now over 10 years. Number two, we have $1 billion capacity with an infrastructure that's already in place, bought and paid for. And number three, the timing is perfect because if you can find a company that's somewhere in that first, 100 to $200 million year, and you have all of the other necessary ingredients in terms of corporate leadership, experience, integrity, if you have the right kinds of products, a compensation plan that pays the brand new person a lot of money to get out of the gate, if you can put all those things together, then the run from the 100 million a year to the 500 million a year, that's where the fortunes are made. That's where Zija International is today. And what I want to do right now is give you an opportunity to hear from one of the industry's legend. Gentleman's name is Jiri Hradsky. I've had the, Jiri, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the presentation, so kind of, get ready here. Let me see if I can do that. Jiri, I've had the privilege of knowing Jiri for a number of years now. Jiri is certainly recognized throughout the industry. I'm going to unmute you here, Jiri. Good to see you, Jiri. You're looking well, sir.
Well,
I was just introducing you here. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got yours from Jim Rohn's site too. Yeah, really nice journals. My first ones were not this fancy. Neither were yours, probably, right?
Yep.
But I was saying, Jiri's been recognized in the industry as one of the most successful people in our profession. He's been in this industry for decades. Jiri, I know that you were retired from the industry when you got a phone call, just like I did a few years ago, about this very unique company started by the legend Ken Brailsford. And what I'd like to do is maybe have you take a minute, share with the folks a little bit about, when you were introduced to Zija, why was it that you were willing to come out of retirement and do another deal? Because, I mean, you'd already done the deal, you'd been there, you'd done that, you had the fancy cars and the fancy house and the lifestyle, and you wanted to travel a lot. You really didn't have to do this, Jiri. What was it that made you decide to do this one more time?
Well, that's true. I didn't have to do it, but maybe I'm a little bit crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I've been getting phone calls from one individual, and he kept calling me and says, "You got to look at this company. You got to look at this company." And actually, I wrote it because every time he called me, I says, "No, I'm not interested. I was doing consulting at that time. Life is good. What do I need? What do I need? Work again, right?" But he kept persisting and persisting. It got to the point, actually, which is funny, that I actually marked that person's phone number on a sticky, put it on the phone, and when the phone rings, I said to Wanda, my wife, I says, "If you see that number, don't answer it." Okay? Don't answer it. But anyway, make a story short, and finally I got in conversation, and when I was told that Ken Brailsford is starting another company, and that's what actually perked my interest, because I was in his previous company, Ziji International, for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
And so then when Ken sold his company, retired, I kind of semi-retired, and I knew that he's going to do the same thing what he done to previous company. And as you already talked about the stability and all that you already mentioned that, and basically that's where I got involved.
It's interesting because there's some commonality there. When I got a call about Zija, and it was from a fellow that used to call me. I mean, I knew him from the industry. He was very successful in the past with a previous company. But he was calling me about every year, every 12, 18 months on his latest new deal, was going to make us $1 million, right? Blah, 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 blah. And I was listening to him tell me all about moringa trees and this, that, and the other thing. And I wasn't even listening. I didn't hear it until he mentioned the name Ken Brailsford. And that's when I said, you got to back up and start again. Now, Jiri, you've already been part of Ken's. It was Ken's second company, correct?
Yes, correct.
And obviously, when you know, there was a reason why you joined Ken's second company. Certainly, that experience caused you to know what was going to happen with this company. Let's talk a little bit, because there's a lot of really new people. I'm actually looking at the list of attendees, and what's kind of stunning is how many people whose names I don't recognize. So we've got a lot of people that are either brand new distributors, or maybe they're invited guests, and certainly people will be looking at the replay here. You've had a long tenure in this industry. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, you know, where you were at when you were first introduced to network marketing. What attracted you to this profession? What caused you to want to get involved in what we do?
Well, actually, that goes way, way back. I don't want to even say how many years, because that's making me feel kind of ancient. But anyway, I got a phone call from a friend again here in BC, and says, Jiri, you got to go have a look at this opportunity. You got to go. So anyway, we drove like 3 hours to this town, and there's a presentation going on. There's this young kid, about 20 years old. At that time, I was 35. And those days, we were marking everything on the whiteboard and so on. And he's making circles and saying how much money we're going to make. And I look at the guy, I says to myself, wait a minute. There's a 20-year-old kid jumping up and down, making circles. I can do that too. And
oh, it looks like we froze here.
Yeah, actually, I figured out, you know what, if this kid can do it and he can jump up and down, I can jump up and down, do the circles. So that was kind of introduction in the industry. Of course, there was a curve for learning and so on, but I like the freedom. I like at that time I was financial planner. I worked like till midnight, and I just didn't like the lifestyle. And so this attracted me to network marketing.
You know, and that's a really interesting point you bring up, because in today's world, and I mean, you know, I was raised like most people, you know, growing up, I was taught, you know, go to school, get as much education as you can, get a good job, work hard, you'll be taken care of. And the fact of the matter is that whole, you know, belief system of job security, one person controls 100% of your income and 100% of your free time. The boss, you know, if the boss doesn't like you, get fired, there goes 100% of your income. And you got to ask for time off from the boss. And you mentioned lifestyle. And I think that's something that most people dream about. Most people have a hard time achieving. Talk a little bit about, you know, what do you do to build your Zija business, and being able to incorporate that into your life as opposed to making your work your life?
Well, I think what's very important, Fred, is to be able to bring in conversation about what we do. And I'm approaching this business a little bit different way. When I talk to people, I try to find out what they want out of the life, where they want to go, what they want to be, what they want to achieve. You know, how is the financial situation? And I guess that's come maybe from background being financial planner, because I saw too many people at 65, they still had a mortgage to pay. They still had to go to work. And I says, you know what? I don't want to be in that boat. I just don't want to be there. And that's kind of drove me, you know, basically to the success. But again, you got to live it 24/7 to succeed in this business. There's no such a thing as like doing a part-time. You're going to have a part-time income. If you really want to make it big, you got to work. There's a hard, how would I say this? You pay the price, basically, right? And you have to get involved. You got to talk to people. As I said, I approach it from the business end. I know our products are fantastic, because I didn't even question the products, because when I was in Enrich International, we had like, I forgot, like 200 products, and they were all great products. And I learned from one successful network marketer, actually in Enrich International, who was very, very successful. I mean, he was making $500,000 per month. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, right? And he says to me, he would go on a stage, or he would go to the presentation, he would put a product out, put it on the table, and he would say, this is my product I just love so much, but let me now show you how I can help you with the financial situation. So that was his knowledge and presentation to the product. He says, I like them. I take them every day. Let's talk how we can make you successful. And I learned that, and that's the way I approach the business.
Well, and you know, I think that that's really one of the unique things we've seen about Zija, and you've seen, you know, companies over the years grow through various developmental stages, kind of like those of us distributors. Distributors tend to start out sharing the product,
Mhm.
okay, the retail stage. And when you realize people are buying the product, and you start thinking, well, maybe I could build a business, and you move into the recruiting stage. And then the final stage of development is the duplication stage, where you start to get the exponential growth. Something that you've shared is very interesting about Zija right now is we're really making that transition from the retailing stage into the recruiting stage, where more and more in the past, people joined our company because of the products. And you know, you've got people who've been using the products for years. I've got people who've been using the products for years. Some of our top income earners were simply people who shared the product. But today, more so than before, and certainly is going to continue that way because of the growth of Zija, more and more people are going to be coming to the business because of the business end. Now, I know you're in Canada. You got a little bit different economy than we have here in the U.S. What percentage of people in Canada would be interested in making an extra, you know, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month?
Well, you know what? That's an interesting question, Fred. And I remember we were at the meeting in Vancouver, and David actually was doing the meeting, and he says, we all have the product. And he says, I said, 200 people. He says, put your hand up if this product helps somebody with rheumatism. You know, and it's like 4 or 5 people put a hand. Then he went and asked, well, how many people helped them with the headache? So he put 3 people put a hand up. And he asked a bunch of questions about the health issues. So there was people who put the hand up. And then he says, how many people in this room would like to pay off their mortgage, make extra money, whatever reason you have? Everybody put the hand up. So I think the moral of the story is that in this economy, we need a plan. Yep. People have to have something to fall on. They're always going to be product. They're always going to be another company with another product. But you know what? There's a compensation plan in Zija. Yeah, you could go right to the top, and as you mentioned, beautiful lifestyle and lots of time, and do what you want to do with your life, and be able to share it with other people.
You know, that's a really interesting concept. I know you got involved in the business from the financial end. I also, 30 years ago, left trucking to get involved in the business. But isn't it interesting that once we get ourselves taken care of, how much more fun it is when the money that we have can go to benefit and help others? I think most people would like to help their children, their parents, you know, their friends, their family, but they don't have the financial resources to do so. And this is one of the things our business can do. In closing here, and I've actually gone beyond my allotted time, I got to just do this one thing, okay, Jiri? What kind of car did you buy recently?
Porsche GT3 2018.
And do you think you can keep up in your Porsche with me and my M6?
There's no way. I would eat your BMW for breakfast. There's no way you could keep up with me.
See, folks, if there's a reason to get involved, is so that you can hang out with Jiri and me, and then we can talk smack about whose race car is the fastest, right?
Well, it's not the BMW, it's the Porsches.
Okay, Jiri, I'm going to let you have that one. Hey, buddy, thank you so much for taking a few minutes and sharing your perspective on Zija with us. I really appreciate you. Give my best to Wanda, okay?
Thank you, and thank you for having me on a call.
Oh, you betcha. Thank you, Jiri. We'll let Jiri go back over to the other side. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that. I've known Jiri for quite some time, and we always have a good time when we get that. And now that he's not on the screen, no, his Porsche's fast, but he's not going to be able to beat my M6, okay? So I'm just saying that. So anyway, in conclusion, folks, 2 things I want to share with you. Those of you that are invited as a guest, or maybe you've been directed to the replay of this video, I encourage you to get back to the person that asked you to be part of this presentation. Get your questions answered. Folks, you may want to try our products, and I can assure you that if you use our products, you'll understand why this company is growing so fast, because we've got products that make a real difference in people's lives. We can get you more information on the products. We have on Wednesday evenings, Pat Anderson, Diamond Elite with the company, one of our top earners. She is the product person that, and when she first started in the business, was 100% product focused. She really wasn't interested in building the business, but the products made such a difference in her life. She was, motivated to share it, and she's now become one of our top 10 income earner with the company. She does a product focused presentation on Wednesday evenings. For those of you that are, maybe you're intrigued and now you want to look at the business end of the business, the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast can get you some additional information. And make a decision, folks. Here's the most important thing. Decide. You can use our products, you can get involved in our business, or you can do neither one. All right? All I can tell you is if you get involved with our products, you're going to receive benefit from using the products. If you get involved in our business, you're going to receive benefit commensurate with your effort. If you don't do either one, then what you had last year is going to be the same thing you have this year. Boy, was that sharp. So for those of you that are ready to get involved, Saturday morning, we're going to be having a very special edition of new distributor training. We will have one of the top income earners in Zija spelling out exactly what she did to create what today is a legacy residual income. So we encourage you to get involved in that as well. One last shout out. Thank you to Jiri for joining us. And I'm going to go ahead and close out the meeting for now. Get with the person who asked you to be part of this broadcast. Get yourself up to speed. And for those of you ready to get started, we'll see you on Saturday morning. All right. Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.